The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, this is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelaton.
And I'm Rex Lita. Join me later in the bulletin for sports news.
In this edition, Unitech signs MOU with MRDC for scholarships, Pacific leaders discuss Tuna Forum, and Lewis get back-to-back win. Prime Minister James Marape begins a groundbreaking official visit to Israel from September 4 to 6. The visit includes the inauguration of the new Papua New Guinea embassy in Jerusalem, symbolizing strengthening ties between the nations. Key focus areas are agricultural projects, energy initiatives, technology advancements, fisheries, higher education, and security cooperation. This visit builds on previous cooperation, including a 2015 joint declaration of cooperation. Accompanying the Prime Minister is his spouse and select senior ministers. The visit aims to deepen ties and foster development between the two nations. The PNG University of Technology recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Mineral Resources Development Company. Under the MOU, 4 scholarships will be awarded to students from the Department of Communication for Development Studies starting in 2024, and industry experts will do guest lectures at the university.
A Memorandum of Understanding was signed between the PNG University of Technology and Mineral Resource Development Company outside of the inaugural Community Affairs and National Content Conference and Expo in Leh this week. When thanking MRDC for the partnership, Unitech Vice Chancellor Dr. Hora Renagi said such partnerships are embraced as they prepare students for the outside world.
It is very critical, so we are happy to be providing the training through the department, and we are also happy that MRDC as a company can come and support the training of the students. Students always love this type of support, and I'm very proud to say that with this type of relationships, it impresses upon the students to perform. So I'm glad that our mining industry have their standards, their professional standards, their work ethics, and the responsibility of the staff as well. And I'm very proud to say that this university is very focused on creating our programs, benchmarking them to international standards, to industry standards. And when those standards are maintained, our students are expected to perform to expected levels.
MRDC's manager legal, Valentina Kaman, said the company recognizes the group of professionals coming out of the institution.
In our experiences, we also recognize that our operating environment in the country is quite unique, and we've got unique challenges. And for us, through this MOA, we also just apart from that, there's 4 particular strategic priority areas that are captured under that MOU. The first one is provisions of scholarship. So every year, MRDC will be issuing 4 scholarships to students. Applications criteria will come out. So every year there's a issuance of 4 scholarships. That scholarship, it's called the MRDC Indi Tangone Scholarship. And part of that scholarship is also to recognize the legacy of pioneers that have done community affairs, community development work. We must recognize and honoring legacy belong out. So MRDC, for us, we lost the industry stalwart when Mr. Tangone went. And for us too, the recognition was the institutional memory, all of this is gone, and that dovetails into the next priority area for us, and that's the guest lecture series. That's an MRDC initiative that we will partner with the school, and we will put an implementation schedule where we bring industry experts, we bring, practitioners like my colleagues that are sitting here to come and do guest lecturing, share real life experience, what it's like to do community.
The third priority area under the MOU includes annual sponsorship for the Communications for Development Department to participate in CMP conferences for 2 lecturers and a student. Industrial attachment is the fourth priority area, where students will do field attachments with the MRDC External Affairs team. Sipa TV1 News.
In the wake of the Lagatoy Declaration signing at APEC House, the Pacific ICT Ministerial Delegation led by Minister Timothy Masiu set out on a remarkable journey to New Island Province. Their mission to explore culture, landscapes and forge lasting connections.
Following the successful Lagatoy Declaration, the Pacific ICT delegation headed to New Island, aiming to immerse themselves in local culture, understand rural ICT challenges, and appreciate the region's stunning landscapes. Accompanied by representatives from esteemed organizations such as Asia Pacific Telecommunity, Digicel, and members of the New Island provincial government, the delegation embarked on a unique experience. During their one-day tour in the province, the delegation witnessed the breathtaking landscapes of New Island, indulged in local cuisine, and engaged with local communities. The highlights of their visit included first-hand experiences of New Island's ancient shark calling tradition and the awe-inspiring giant eels of Laraibina, leaving an indelible mark on the delegates and deepening their understanding of the region's rich heritage. Following this enriching visit, the Pacific ICT delegation returned to Port Moresby, proceeding to the 16th Asia-Pacific Telecommunity Policy and Regulation Forum for the Pacific. Armed with newfound insights into the challenges faced by rural communities in Papua New Guinea and a deeper understanding of cultural interconnectedness between Pacific societies, the delegates are now poised to contribute meaningfully to the forum's discussions and deliberations. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
Papua New Guinea is demanding Japan's financial support for water quality testing due to the recent discharge of wastewater from Japan's Fukushima power station. Minister for Fisheries and Marine Resources, Jelta Wong, highlights the need for more stringent ship blast water discharge regulations and plans to commission independent water monitoring in PNG waters, reimbursed by Japan. There are concerns about the immediate impact of ship ballast water discharge, prompting PNG to amend legislation specifically addressing radioactive ballast water. PNG looks to the Republic of Korea as an example of regulations to prevent radioactive ballast water release from Japanese vessels. Cooperation amongst maritime nations is urged to establish common regulations for safer Pacific waters. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have more news after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Wanna know to win a Scale Rice Matchy Pack? Scale Rice is giving away hundreds of really scale prizes for that Scale weekend. Prizes include over 200 Scale Rice Nambi set, over 190 Scale Rice Eskies, 44 JBL speakers with 2 wireless mics. To enter, buy any Scale Rice or Ori Rice product, write your name and contact details at the back of the receipt, drop in the entry box. There's 116 winners fortnightly, 16 promo locations and 4 fortnightly draws. Time to all.
More details in store or follow us on our social pages. Terms and conditions apply. A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made.
Open lens.
More clean, more sweet. Flame natural white sugar. Make more.
It's our year. That's what the 8 final teams will be having in mind going into the finals.
You know, they've got the capability to do it in regards to talent.
It's going to be brutal. Oh! It's going down to the wire.
Superstar on superstar again.
It's going to be spectacular.
With a huge
Don't miss a moment in this year's finals. It's all happening right here on TVWAN Sports, your home of rugby league.
Lydia Tarr is one of the most important musical figures of our time.
Thank you.
We have a problem.
Some accusations have been made.
Oh, no. There are many things I accept about you, but not something like this. They're lies.
Tar premieres Saturday, September 9th, 10 p.m. on HBO.
On the ground, the Fijian. Kebalo, oh, Butterfingers there out of the hands of Dante. You've got to be careful. He's up. Ramos in the corner.
Welcome back. PNG's reggae sensation Enslom continues his victorious journey on the international music stage by achieving 2 prestigious American Music Awards shortly after claiming the Band of the Year accolade at the International Singer-Songwriter Association's annual ceremony in Atlanta, Georgia. Based in Los Angeles, Enslom's latest triumphs were revealed during the virtual announcement of the 2023 Intercontinental Music Awards winners. Enslom's first major win was the coveted Icon Award, the apex of recognition within ICMA's global music community. This prestigious accolade not only crowns Enslom as an exceptional artist but also rewards him with a $1,000 prize. The Icon Award is a testament to Enslom's extraordinary impact on the ICMA judges, a panel consisting of Hollywood music executives and industry professionals renowned for their collaborations with illustrious artists worldwide. The leaders of Pacific Island countries gathered in East New Britain province to highlight topics of discussions before the 8th Tuna Forum in Port Moresby this week. Host and regional member Governor Michael Marum and provincial government officials welcomed the leaders and their delegates to their home over the weekend.
2 important meetings will be held in Kokopo before the 8th Tuna Forum in Port Moresby that will be held from the 6th to 7th of September. The first meeting took place today at the Gazelle International Hotel in Kokopo, where the Forum Fisheries Committee met to discuss the United States Treaty on the distribution of funds.
That meeting is very important for the Pacific Island parties who are members of members to the U.S. treaty, where there is a $6 million that the U.S. government has provided to the Pacific Island parties.
On Monday, September 4th, the Pacific Islands leaders hosted by Fisheries and Marine Resources Minister TVWAN will meet under the banner of East New Britain Initiative.
This initiative, as Minister has sponsored, is to provide a platform for all our fisheries ministers in the Pacific to have this opportunity to dialogue amongst themselves in addressing two important key areas that we have observed that members seem to be hesitant in taking the leadership in. There is climate change, and the other one is to tap into opportunities to maximize economic returns from the tuna resource.
Pacific Islanders ministers all agreed to come here so that they could support the initiative that we're trying to push out. You know, every year we lose in unreported, unregulated illegal fishing close to about $45 million US. And so we have to tap into ways and initiatives to try to stop this type of illegal stuff happening. And the initiative that we're trying to achieve here is the initiative that's going to allow us to control the stocks and see to make sure what fish is going out. And it's a good initiative because it involves the whole Pacific. And, you know, one country on its own, we all share the same resource. Sometimes the fish is here in Papua New Guinea, sometimes the fish is up in Kiribati, or down in Fiji, or down in Samoa. So it's better that if we stand united as one, then the world will know that they can't come and pick us off one by one.
NFA MD Ilikini says the hope is to see our national and Pacific Island leaders collaborate regionally to drive the Pacific Island interest going forward in the multi-million-dollar industry of fisheries. Craig Kaviagu, TVWAN News.
The Nilkande Rural Agro-Industry Food Processing Project, an initiative of Organic Frontier Limited in partnership with the government of Papua New Guinea, was launched on Friday, September 1st in Gambog District, Chimbu Province. The rural community-based downstream food processing project aims to put back value on the efforts of local farmers working the land, making the village a suitable environment to live in.
The food processing factory will transform lives for the ordinary farmers of Gambol District in Chimbu Province. This is in line with the development plans of the Medium-Term Development Plan 4, recently launched by Department of National Planning. The project was launched last Friday by Chimbu Governor Noah Cole and funded within the 2022 PIP budget for a total of 4 million kina by the government. Project developer Organic Frontier Limited initiated this small, simple yet effective solution to build food processing factory next to the farmers. The factory is set up to serve the people of Kundiawa, Gambol and Simbu Province through processing, packaging, freezing and marketing the farmers' vegetables. The food processing factory will start initially with frozen peas and beans as its base produce. Peas and beans are heavy household food items and naturally grows very well in the area. This processing factory will ensure the following for farmers, including guarantee for a marketplace for farmers and clients for supply of producers, and factory is long-term, creating sustainable market opportunities for farmers and clients. The direct revenue for the food processing plant is expected to be around 12 million kina per year for the first 3 years. The project has also attracted potential development partners to complete the entire project development and operations cycles and to deliver sustainable business for all stakeholders. Tracy Pa, TVWAN News.
The recent launch of the Nilkande Rural Agro-Industry Food Processing Project in Simbu Province will kick off soon, a plus for the 60,000 farming population of Gambong, Kundiawa, Kerawagi, Sinasina, Yongomogol areas who will directly contribute fresh vegetables to the processing factory. One development partner among many that showed interest to invest in the project is City Pharmacy Limited.
To get one of these vegetables down to Port Moresby takes around 15 days. Goes to Kundiawa, then to Lae, sits there, then goes on by sea all the way around. You need to pull the best vegetables out of the ground. Take care of them. And this next step in going into frozen vegetables is even better because it'll last from 3 weeks on the shelf in the shop to 2 years in the freezer. So I want to commend the steps that the teams have taken to build this factory. And I want to say that the hard work is still yet to come. And it's going to have to come from the people out there, not from the people up here. They've done the hard work and now it's time for you.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at 0.2770 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2695 US dollars, 0.4152 Australian dollars, 0.2426 euro, and 39.04 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold and copper closed higher. The rest were trading lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed higher as well. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses? Simply collect 6 SP Lager red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Hunters jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and the New Guinea Islands. SP Lager, Bungi Mumi!
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic Kakaro, get up a big smile on face. Time for kimchi and a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy. So bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
Hey, can I get a Virginia?
A what?
Morning King, Heine. The green one?
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
Oh, out! What a beauty! He's on absolute fire!
You need character. You need chemistry.
FIBA Basketball World Cup is the peak of the game.
It's the toughest competition in the basketball world to win.
That is why I will be there.
Because when you win for one,
You win for all.
Movies are dreams that you'll never forget. In this family, it's the scientists versus the artists. Sammy's on my team.
Can you stop calling it a hobby?
You could afford to be a little encouraging.
You always have to be the center of attention.
Stop shouting at her! I'm your brother!
Family, art. It'll tear you in two.
I don't know what to do anymore.
You do what your heart says you have to.
The Fablemans premieres Saturday, September 23rd, 9 p.m. on
Welcome back. In regional news, the Malaysia-based InfoFish Information and Data Hub on Asia-Pacific fisheries and fish products is a core part of the Pacific Tuna Forum's energy, driven in partnership with the National Fisheries Authority of Papua New Guinea. The Pacific Tuna Forum, now in its 8th year, is preceded by a media training partnership to help journalists registered to cover the forum, do what they do best without getting snared in technical terms and jargon. InfoFish lead Dr. Nawin Raja shared some insights with PIF Public Affairs Advisor Lisa Williams Lahari at last week's media training event in Kokopo, and says if countries make the right decisions and manage challenges and opportunities through current trends, the future's bright for Pacific trade in tuna and fisheries to 2050. Employers guilty of wage theft are facing the prospect of 10 years in jail and fines of up to $7.8 million under new laws proposed by the federal government.
7-Eleven, Woolworths and the ABC, just a few of their household names to become embroiled in recent underpayment scandals. Now the federal government is cracking down on employers who knowingly do the wrong thing, proposing what it calls a sensible solution to a simple loophole.
At the moment, if you intentionally as a worker take money from the till, it's a criminal offence, and it should be. But if the employer intentionally withholds money from your pay, it's not a criminal offence.
By the start of 2025, the government wants to change that. Deliberate underpayment could be punishable with 10 years in prison or a fine of up to $7.8 million. If the underpayment exceeds that figure, the penalty could be up to 3 times the amount that was underpaid.
The objective here is not to send people to jail. The objective is to make sure that people are paid properly.
Clearly there's not enough of a deterrence. What happens if the employers weigh up the cost of them being caught, and at the moment that cost is pretty low.
Business groups are pleased the penalties would only apply to employers deliberately doing the wrong thing, but are closely scrutinising the reforms.
Really, what's been announced today won't tackle that central issue of simplifying our award system, really taking a better look at why those companies are tripping up.
The federal government has also promised an extra $32 million over 4 years to help implement the change. The legislation is set to be introduced alongside a suite of workplace reforms to federal parliament tomorrow.
Vanuatu's parliament will convene to elect a new leader after the Court of Appeal upheld an earlier decision that a vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister was valid. The decision was announced on Monday morning following a hearing in front of a panel of 6 judges last Thursday. The Speaker of Parliament, Seoli Simeon, lodged the appeal last Monday against the Supreme Court decision that found the opposition had an absolute majority of 26 votes when it moved to oust Prime Minister Ismail Kalsakau. 25 members of the opposition challenged the decision of the Speaker and Attorney General in court. Kalsakau will continue on a caretaker basis until Parliament can meet and elect a new Prime Minister. A mining company wants to explore Nick's farm in northern Tasmania for rare earth elements, but he's worried about what would happen to his farm if exploration turns into actual digging.
This land in Tasmania's north is productive cropping and livestock country. But mining companies are increasingly interested in what lies beneath.
If we're going to take away good agricultural land for a short-term gain, the long-term ramifications could be overarching and could ultimately affect food security moving forward.
Mining company ABX Group has applied to explore this area for rare earth elements and wants to work with farmers.
Rare earth elements are the specialty metals that are essential for permanent magnets, which are essential for wind turbines and electric vehicles.
In the past 2.5 years, the area covered by exploration licences in Tasmania has increased from about 5,000 square kilometres to almost 10,000. Another 45 licence applications are being assessed, covering an additional 5,000 square kilometres. The Farmers and Graziers Association has received several complaints about exploration on farmland. Landowners can object to a licence but say it's not a simple process.
It's frustrating and it's costing us a lot of time, which obviously we don't get paid for.
There are also concerns about other land types affected by exploration licences.
When we've got the whole of the northeast, the majority of the Tarkine and many places in the north now covered in exploration licences, this is a huge potential impact on areas that have been independently verified as high biodiversity.
The Greens want a review of the laws governing exploration and mining. Resources Minister Felix Ellis says the government won't be reviewing the laws but will continue working with landowners.
Researchers, clinicians and patients have gathered in Victoria for what was probably the first conference in Australia devoted entirely to the issue of long COVID-19.
So this is probably the largest survey to date. There are other research projects going on, one in Sydney called ADAPT, but this was a survey of 12,670 people, thereabouts, going back to January 2020, who'd been infected with COVID. They also had a group of people who hadn't been infected with COVID for comparison. And they were able to track them and survey them to see how many had persistent symptoms beyond 3 months, any symptoms at all. And what they showed was that the risk, there was about a 14% proportion of people who had persistent symptoms over these 3 years. But when you looked at that, in fact, it was changing. So if you'd got COVID back in January 2020, your chances of getting persistent symptoms were about 25%, 1 in 4. And that drops down to about nearly just a little bit over 1 in 10 now. It still means, though, that there could be, just in Victoria alone, this was a Victorian survey, there could be 400,000 people with persistent COVID symptoms. And there are lots of unusual things that were surprising things in this survey. First of all, we tend to think that long COVID occurs in people who have severe disease. Now, there's no question that severe disease increases your risk of persistent symptoms, often with organ damage, but only 8% of people had severe COVID in this sample. 92% had mild to moderate symptoms, and 40% were aged between 40 and 59. So this was not necessarily an elderly population who were vulnerable. This was you and me.
So does this mean that long COVID is a bigger problem than we thought it was?
Well, it tends to go along with other surveys, but some people have said it's 3%, some people have said it's 15%. So 10, 12% is what other surveys tend to be showing. But it's significant. I mean, it's a very large number of people. And about 1 in 4 of those people with long COVID were saying that it has affected their lives. They're not living life the way they want to, and some were quite severely disabled.
So what were some of the key concerns that came out of this conference?
Well, one of the lack of an easy explanation for what's going on. So the people had brain fog, they had fatigue, they had weakness, breathlessness on exertion, insomnia, headaches, migraine being made worse, asthma being made worse. The concern is getting help to these people. Many of them will get better of their own accord. We heard about research, and there's research going on in Sydney in the Kirby Institute which suggests there may be interesting medications that could be used for some of these people, but it's not just one disease. The question is equipping general practitioners to be able to deal with it, because these people were not going to see endocrinologists and cardiologists, they were going to see GP specialists. And GPs are, they don't have the infrastructure around them to be able to deal with this. You need exercise specialists, you need psychologists. A lot of people had depression and anxiety, either because they were fed up with the symptoms and worried about them, or maybe the brain effects themselves were causing psychological issues. People get nutritional problems, their microbiome changes. You need a lot of professionals coming together, and general practice isn't equipped for that, even if the spirit's willing.
Did you get a sense from the health professionals in the room, though, during the conference that they are very worried about this situation with long COVID?
Well, they're worried enough that they had they got together about it, and they're worried about the dimensions of the problem. And there's a lot of people out there who are experiencing this in silence. So not everybody, far from everybody in this survey had gone to see anybody about it. They were living with these symptoms quietly by themselves, thinking, well, maybe this is normal, nobody's got any help for me, what have you. So there's just this worry that this is a dampener on a large proportion of the population. And of course, politicians don't want to talk about it. We all want COVID to be over, but there's this legacy of COVID, and there's more COVID around the corner, unfortunately.
Fisheries and Marine Resources Minister TVWAN convened the Pacific Islands Fisheries Ministers meeting in Kokopo, its New Britain province. Assembled at today's meeting were a distinguished group of experts, policy makers and stakeholders, all with a shared commitment to best informing their leaders on how they address the challenges faced by the fishing industry and, importantly, a commitment to owning more of the activities along the fisheries value chain. Minister Wong says PNG wants to promote a united front for all Pacific nation states. The ministers and their respective delegates will conclude official discussions in time for the 8th Tuna Forum that will take place in Port Moresby this week, September 6th and the 7th. And that ends the news segment. Sports is next with Rex. Stay with us.
William Hop Moneymark bilang 400,000 kina on-time roots rice. 600 per month mere by winning 500 kina each or get a fortnight na by got form the big plow winner belong 25,000 kina each. Long enta, buy 10 kg roots medium grain rice, cut him logo long front long bag, write him name na number long you long backside na put him long entry box long or participating store. Roots big for cash giveaway. No can miss out. Terms and conditions is tough.
There's nothing more intense than this thing. I've been in racing my entire life since I was 3 or 4 years old. Anytime you get in one of these things, your life is in danger.
There's no room for error. I mean, this is life or death. I'm determined.
We travel across the country with this beast, and people just go nuts.
Listen to me, Billy. The fate of your world depends on it. The daughters of Atlas are coming for you.
Children stole the power of all the gods. This is very personal, Billy.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods premieres Saturday, September 16th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Challenge for a World Heavyweight Championship match right here. Oh! Here comes the man. Swanton bomb! Oh my God!
And everybody loves Seth freaking Rollins.
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh, my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked it well, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Australia's favourite chef is taking you around the world to meet amazing people.
Teach me how to make this one.
Experience delicious food.
Bon appetit.
And discover the most incredible flavours.
Yum. Nice.
This is a culinary expedition on a budget.
50 rupees. That's a deal. Whoa.
Cheers. Around the world with Mano Fidel, a brand new series coming soon on Outdoor.
Welcome to the John's Family Podcast, people.
Sort of.
What are you
laughing at?
I just thought of something. I bet. I don't feel like dancing. On that note, guys, have a good week.
Welcome back. Queenslander Christopher Taylor played his heart out to snatch the PNG Senior Open title under clear skies in Lae, Morbe Province. He was one of the 42 golfers from the PGA of Australia to arrive in Lae last Wednesday for the second edition of the PNG Senior Open. The week-long rain ended on Sunday, giving some golfers the chance to complete Round 2 PNG Senior Open tournament, which was halted on Saturday due to the heavy downpour and continued to Round 3. West Australian Brandon Chant was leading the pack after Saturday's Round 2, with Christopher Taylor holding on in third place with 1 under. Taylor then matched Lu Chain Tinkler with a 4 under 67 to complete 54 holes in 5 under par on Sunday. The new PNG Senior Open champion applauded Chant for a great up and down on the first playoff hole. However, his luck ran out from there, giving Taylor the space he needed to edge past him and claim the title from Peter Senior, who did not participate in the tournament this year. Speaking to PGA Australia, Taylor said, "What a place to be, and to take a 10-footer on the last in a playoff to win a tournament. It's what you dream of, I suppose." The only 2 players to finish the September 1st to 3rd tournament under par were Taylor and Chant. Tinkler, with a score of 67, and Brad Benz at 70 were tied at 3rd spot with even par. Round 1 co-leader Ronald Baglin with 72 points and Simon Tuman with 74 rounded out the top 5 at 1 over. Australia's ambassador for gender equality, Stephanie Coppers-Campbell, has reaffirmed Australia's commitment to supporting community sports programs in Papua New Guinea through the Team Up initiative. During her recent visit to PNG, she engaged with Basketball PNG's Basketball for Good program, focusing on gender equality, self-confidence, leadership, menstrual health, and cyber safety education for young girls, women, and boys. The PNG Peppers have secured an airline sponsorship with Air New Guinea ahead of its 2 international meets in Singapore and Solomon Islands. They just finished a 2-day trial and selection exercise. The final squad will be announced soon. PNG Peppers are proud to secure sponsorship with the national flag carrier Air New Guinea. This is a crucial partnership for the PNG Peppers ahead of their 2 international meets, one in Singapore in October and the other in the Solomon Islands in November. Air New Guinea and Netball PNG are collaborating for the first time. Peppers assistant coach Helen Edwards said they want to maintain this partnership.
Yes, like Air New Guinea has come on board, but I don't have the details, but yeah, for this camp, they've come on board, and we're thankful to I think the CEO or the chairman, Mr. Gary Seddon, and he'll be here to watch the girls during our match play after this. So yeah, and we're hoping that through Netball PNG's board that relationship continue, and then we have.
On their final training camp at the St. John Guy's Indoor Stadium over the weekend, Air New Guinea acting CEO Gary Seddon met the women in camp. He expressed how happy he is to have Air New Guinea collaborating with the PNG Peppers towards their international meets. Edwards expressing her gratitude to Seddon and also to the president of Netball PNG, Ulato Avei. The PNG Peppers have completed their training camp and are awaiting the result on who will be representing the country in the international events. 24 players were called in for the selection trials, 14 of which are based in Australia and the 11 are PNG based. Out of these 24, only 15 players will be picked for the upcoming Singapore series in October and Solomon Islands Pacific game in November. The final team will be announced when it is finalized. In the 7th match of the 2023 ICC Women's T20 East Asia Pacific World Cup qualifier in Vanuatu this morning, PNG Lewas defeated Samoa by 9 wickets to record a back-to-back win. Lewas Sibona Jimmy starred in the match and grabbed player of the match. The PNG Lewas are 2 wins from 3 matches after defeating Samoa today. They are now on the track to retaining their 2019 championship title. In their match against Samoa this morning, the Lewas fielded well and set up the platform for their baiters with some early wickets. The baiters Nawani Vare recorded 23 runs from 21 balls, Tanya Ruma 17 from 8 and Brenda Tau 17 from 20 in a complete performance. The Lewas proved too strong for Samoa, recording 65 for 1 with 7.5 overs, while the opposition, Samoa, bowled 61 for 10 with 13 overs at the completion of their inning, and PNG Lewas won by 9 wickets. Sibona Jimmy starred in the match and was named the player of the match. Her 4 wickets proved crucial for PNG representative team. This crucial win keeps PNG's women cricket team in the race to qualify for the global qualifier. The Lewas captain Kaya Arua, before departing the country for the tournament, said the Lewas are looking to defend their title to advance into global qualifier. They are looking no further than taking 1 match at a time. The qualifier continues with a couple of matches remaining. Although PNG team is looking good so far, with the result, they would be looking to get the job done in their remaining matches to qualify for the global qualifier. PNG plays Japan tomorrow morning at Independence Park, Port Vila, for another must-win match. Kebara Village's first K4K soccer tournament near Popondetta and Kokoda Station overcame flight cancellations to shine. KTF, the Kokoda Family Sexual Violence Unit, and Oro Province Department of Community Development participated. Team PNG Hero athletes, led by Hussein Loa and Miriam Lola Ilumpui, managed the event with the Team Excellence emerging as champions. Thanks to Basil Jafari, the tournament was funded by the Australian government through the Team Up program, fostering unity in the Kebora community. Southern Confred women successfully defended its shield for the 10th time after overcoming a strong fight back from the Highlands women's rival in the grand final of the 2023 PNG RFL National Women's Rugby League Championship, 16-12 at full time. The women's grand final was played as curtain raiser to the main Digicel ExxonMobil Cup decider between Angamioks and Garuka Lahanis.
Both teams came out on top at the end of the round-robin tournament, which ended last Wednesday with the elimination of 2 teams, NGI and Northern. The win over Highlands was sweet revenge for the Southern girls, who were defeated 24-22 during their round-robin clash. It was a tightly contested affair, with Southern having the upper hand in terms of experience, with half of the team made up of former and current Orchids, led by Carol Humel, Bathsheba Awoy, Rose Malabag and Martha Molovia. Highlands, keepered by current Orchid Talita Kunchil and supported by Yolanda Tautier, did very well, showcasing a number of young talent, but they were underwhelmed by poor execution and lack of experience. It was a first-time experience for the young girls playing in a world-class facility and in front of a huge crowd. Both teams traded tries in both halves, but Southern were good enough to outscore the Highlands girls, walking away with the perpetual shield for the 10th time in a row.
Extremely proud of the girls' effort, and I'm happy that whatever I told them in that shed during the halftime really went to work, and plans worked out perfectly. So yeah, I'm the proudest coach, especially when defending it for the past 10 years.
I feel so proud because defending the championship again for 10 years now, 1 decade. I just want to say thank you to our coach for pushing us, and the girls.
We
did our best, we tried our best, but unfortunately we fell short on that, so we work on that and then we'll come back better next year.
Say, at least we tried our best. From the second half we came in really hard with them, but I think we lost track on our defensive line speed and then they made their way up.
The National Women's Rugby League Championship for the first time held over 2 weeks, supported by Pacific All Sports through their high performance using the new format. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Egmac Guria's second rower centre, Alex Max, was voted Player of the Year after his outstanding performance in the Digicel ExxonMobil Cup competition. Max was among a host of other teammates who were recognized for their individual efforts and commitment and overall contribution to the team's campaign this season. The Gurias Awards night was held at the Rabaul Yacht Club over the weekend. The Gurias will break camp for the season before they regroup for the pre-season training early 2024. Enga Provincial Government franchise Enga Miox closed out a stellar record, winning season in style with 26-6 thumping of arch rival Bintango Goroka Lahanis to lift the 2023 Digicel ExxonMobil Cup in front of a packed house at the Santos National Football Stadium on Sunday. The win ends a 22-year drought since their last premiership title back in 2000 against Rabaul Gurias.
At the back of 15 consecutive wins, a draw and picking up the Manet Premiership, it was no fluke for the Billy Gao coach Miox outfit. It epitomizes the club's new winning culture and direction they are taking to use sport as a vehicle to bring peace and unite the people of Enga province amidst the tribal warfare and the current law and order situation. The win is especially dedicated to the people of Enga. Lifting the major silverware was testament to the team's unwavering commitment, dedication and hard work throughout the season. Stands were packed to capacity with high anticipation for a fast and highly entertaining clash between two worthy grand finalists. The opening 15 minutes was more on defense and attack just to settle their nerves. Miox made a couple of errors in ball security, providing an opportunity for Lahanis to draw first blood 4-0 through veteran winger Amos Kafara. Miox bounced back almost immediately with an unconverted try by young rising centre Kevin Yako to level the scores for all. The Miox centre visited the Lahanis line again, this time from a deft kick by 5'8" Gary James for a 10-4 lead.
This could be a try. I think so. Let's play on.
At the shadows of half-time from another Miox set play, saw James putting in prop Silcalo into a gap to score his first grand final try right at the centre, though the pass looked suspiciously forward to make it 16-4.
Forward. You can't complain about anything now. The decision's been made. But it was a good ball.
24 seconds before half-time, Miox gave away a penalty for which Lahanis turned into a two-pointer for a 16-6 half-time.
Oh, and it just slides through the left.
The second 40 minutes turned out to be a one-way traffic as Miox continued their dominance with both defense and attack that kept Lahanis out of the game. Miox flashy number 7, Sam Francis, opened the scoring when he busted the Lahanis defensive line to streak away for a third try to make it 26.
Sam Francis goes right through. He will score. There it is. Sam Francis makes it look so easy.
Next, Miox little general Gary James was rewarded for his work ethics when he got an intercept to race away.
I think Charlie Wabba will be looking to get him back on as soon as
This is Miox's second premiership title win out of 4 grand final appearances. Man of the match went to Miox back rower Limby Henry. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Vanuatu will meet host New Zealand and Solomon Islands will face Fiji in Wednesday's semi-finals at the OFC Olympics men's qualifier in Auckland. the Solomon Islands and Vanuatu have notched up wins on the final day of Group B action at Trust Arena, with the Solomon Islands beating Tonga 5-1 to finish with a perfect record in group play. Earlier, Vanuatu overcame Samoa 3-1 to clinch runner-up spot in the group. They may have lost their first 2 matches and failed to score a goal, but Tonga made much of the early running without seriously testing the Solomon Islands goal. And that ends the news tonight. Here is the weather for the next 24 hours. Wamase, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Lae, Wewak and Vanimo, mostly fine. Highlands, isolated showers. Mount Hagen, few showers and possible thunderstorms by evening. Southern, isolated showers. Port Moresby and Alotau, sunny and fine. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and thunderstorms with windy conditions. Buka, partly cloudy with few showers, and Lorengau, partly cloudy with possible few showers. Ocean forecast for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea and Pacific Ocean forecast. Seas moderate with waters southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots to Siasi, Bismarck and waters of New Britain seas moderate to Rough and Bougainville. Southeast winds of 20 to 30.5 meters. Coastal waters forecast. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitia Strait to Siasi and waters of New Britain to New Ireland and Bougainville. Seas 2 to 3.5 meters.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.